In the dark shadows, in the white cold, fearlessly we search for knowledge new and old. We drink the strong spirits and read ancient tomes. The order Abracast. We are the brave and bold.
Stigmata Studios presents The Jinn Jihad. The Jinn Jihad kicks your face with myths, mysteries, epic battles, suicide bombers, quirky characters, and divine power armor. In this epic graphic novel, the warrior archangels descend on a city in chaos. It's all-out war. The non-standard assembly battles an ancient terrorist organization and their ultimate weapon, a corrupted, magically enhanced, unstoppable monster, the Jinn. This graphic novel is a wild ride. It's one part distant Arab myth, one part Old Testament angelic vengeance, and one part unique heroic tough guys. Available on Amazon. Get more info on the Jinn Jihad and other titles at stigmatastudios.com.
Hordes of faces, empty eyes, I see nothing new. Seasoned schemes of slimy curs offer up their flu. Am I beast or am I human? Am I just like you? Power seething, really reeling, reaching out for you. Am I demon? You need to know. Face of a million hells rage inside these veins, pounding out deserved pain to anyone in need. Am I beast or am I human? Am I just like you? The power seething, really reeling, reaching out for you. Am I demon? You need to know. Every word and every limb torn asunder base. Everything I need is me, everything I am. Am I beast or am I human? Am I just like you? Power seething, really reeling, reaching out for you. Am I demon? You need to know. Am I demon? You need to know. Danzig. Am I Demon? From the album Danzig.
The Abracast. Occult. History. Conspiracy. Violence.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Abracast. This is a Lesser Key of Solomon, Part 2. If you stumbled upon this episode, then you're just like, hey, let me check out this podcast. Do yourself a favor, do me a favor, bros. Just back up one show. Because right now we're going to jump in the middle of a topic that's too big for just one episode. That's why it's called Part 2. So we're going to get back into the Lesser Key of Solomon Part 2. So what we're doing is well, first of all, hold on. Hold on. Please, I want to encourage everyone to support the show. You know what to do on iTunes, even though no one does it. Also want to remind everyone I got a call out for music. If you are a musician or in a band, you want to let me play your shit at the end of the episode when I decompress from all this babbling that I do, please drop me a line at towers113@gmail.com. Just like a link to your Bandcamp or whatever will be sufficient. Try to put something fun in the subject line. Yeah, and that's about it. So, what are we doing? We're talking about summoning. We're talking about summoning demons using a system of magic called Goetia, or using a book called The Lesser Key of Solomon. So, in the first episode, we got a little bit of groundwork in. And we explained what we need to do. First, we need to have a... I actually tried to record this last night after I recorded episode 1, but the bottom kind of fell out from under me. And I went upstairs to make dinner at some point, and my wife, the lovely Violet Corbeau, came downstairs. She's prepping a new number. She's a burlesque performer. She's prepping a new number. She comes downstairs, and I had all over my left arm, I had magic symbols and words of obscure ancient deities scribbled all over my arm. And I was just suffering. I got an onset of the worst hiccups I've ever had, and I get like these bad hiccups, and in the back of my mind, like this trivia thing just kills me. It's in the back of my mind. I'm like, the longest case of reported hiccups has only been 26 years. Like a fucking person suffered with hiccups for 26 years, and whenever I get a hiccup attack, I start thinking about that. And I just can't, like, it just doesn't go away. And so, like, I'm in the kitchen. Food's burning everywhere. I'm hiccuping like a maniac, and I have all these, Sharpie, I have all these magic symbols and formulas written on my arm. And, she knew what I was doing. She knew what I was doing down here. And she kept asking me, like... Are you okay? Are you okay? Practicing the Lesser Key of Solomon had driven me insane, like a H.P. Lovecraft book or something. So the first episode, which a lot of people say that, and I should have really prefaced that in the first episode, is that people that really take this seriously are like, you really need, like, first of all, you can't do any mind-altering substances when you're doing these operations, and you have to treat them seriously, just about as serious as, like, MMA or, like, a full-contact martial art. So I'm being sloppy in my practice already. You know what I'm saying. So, the first step of this thing that we kind of outlined the last episode was that you kind of have to have a request or a command or like a favor to ask a demon, and then you have to figure out which is the correct demon to ask this, and then you have to go through the observances and find out what you need specifically to call upon a demon of the office that your demon is. Like, if he's a president, what exactly do you need as far as the lunar cycle, and also what time of day in the solar cycle. When I think of it as like a combination lock, and each spin of the combination is like part of this like cosmic kind of thing, and like everything's got to line up just the right way. So you got to get through those things, and then we're gonna get we're actually going to get to the operation like right away, like the things that you need besides, like, I call that stuff is like the homework part of it, because it's like you have to figure out your schedule, you have to figure out when the moon's right, you have to figure out the logistics of stuff, and like in some cases you have to like build a sigil or a seal out of a certain metal, and you need to be like pure of a woman's touch for like 30 days. And all this kind of stuff. So you have to figure all that stuff out before you can move on to the actual operation. So that's why I divided it where I did. So all the homework stuff is in part 1, and now we're going to actually get into the operation stuff here. So if you ever lost anything, you ever been in love with somebody that doesn't love you back, or whatever, you lost your car keys, your cell phone, all this kind of stuff. You ever wanted a mastery over a science or an art but never wanted to go to school? You need help persuading people. You want to help being more witty or bold, or if you'd like to understand the language of birds or dogs, or if you ever just wanted to become invisible. All you have to do is go through the lesser keys of Solomon, and you have to find the chapter in the book, or the Shem Ha Ma Orash, and pick out your demon. Pick out the one you want to. Pick out the guy you want to summon, and then just work through that way, just like we talked about before. And then we're gonna start calling these bitches right now. I mean, not right now, but pretty soon. We're going to start calling them. Not that they're bitches. I'll try to be respectful. All right, so we're going to get into this magic. We're going to talk about magic circles. Now, there's something to be said about magic circles that I want to talk about right here. Like, ever since, like, the new agey kind of movement started pouring through, or starting being developed or whatever, there's a lot of stuff to be said about these magic circles. And it's like, you can see it's permeated pop culture at this point. Like, you can see them in, I guess there's a show called Supernatural where they use these magic circles, and like you see them done in like Ash versus the Evil Dead. You know, it's obvious to me that the guys who developed Dungeons and Dragons back in the day have read the Lesser Key of Solomon. They basically use a lot of the demons that are in the Shemha Muff Orash. So, I mean, like I said, it's in the zeitgeist, I guess, or whatever. Especially like if you're a seeker and you're dabbling in magic, you've probably heard of like these magic circles. So, the magic circles I'm talking about right now are these people. They build them, they construct them with salt. And there's not really a whole lot of like dogma to it. Like, there are certain things you need, or certain things that these practitioners will take in the circle with them, like incense. You should make sure that you bring your lighter, so you have something, so you don't have to reach outside the circle to grab your lighter. Like, you take all that stuff in there, and your wand, your magic dagger, or feathers, or whatever you're taking in there. And you also want to make sure that you have salt in there as well, so once you enter the circle, you can close it off. And so this is the kind of circle that you're constructing, you want to make sure of a few different things. Like, you want to make sure that your cats aren't around. Nothing's gonna mess up your circle faster than a cat like breaking the barrier, especially if it like disturbs the salt and unconnects the circle. You don't want any of that kind of stuff happening. A lot of these Wiccan folks or New Age spiritualists will use twine, and they'll just close it off. It'll be like a little twine thing. I don't know why we settled on salt to do this. I guess because it's like natural, but I mean, like, there's a lot of natural things. I actually have to think that it's something to do with it being ionized. Then again, I don't know if sea salt's ionized, so I really don't know much about it at all. I'm just fucking going. I don't even know why it being ionized is the big thing. I guess they use ion charges in the Ghostbusters, so I'm falling back on Dan Aykroyd science. So that's the kind of magic circle that, that is kind of popular, like this kind of thing. However, the Lesser Key of Solomon is a little bit more specific about what you need in a magic circle. And one of the things about the New Age pagan Wiccan circles are they're meant to be folded up. Like, you can just, as soon as you're done with it, you can vacuum up the salt, you can clear out your space, whatever. But these Solomonic, I don't know if that's a real word or not, these magic circles revolving around the Goetic magic, seems like it would be best served if you just build one, right? And, like, just leave it there, because it's pretty involved. Or, you can try this guy's product out.
Hey, E.A. Coetting here. I want to introduce you to my latest and greatest innovation in the world of ritual magic. It's a spiritual work of art so powerful that just possessing it can summon angels to your presence and can give you command over most spirits out there. Do you want to succeed with evocation, but you're skeptical of working with demons and maybe you're even afraid of them? Have you ever wanted to summon angels, but never believed you really could? Are you a practitioner of the right-hand path and want to experience real spiritual growth? Or are you committed to the left-hand path and you want to harness angelic power for your own sorcery? You may be wondering why I, E.A. Coetting, am even talking about angels. It's no secret that I'm the world's biggest advocate of demonic evocation and black magic. Well, it may surprise you to learn that I also have a long history of noteworthy success with angelic evocation too. In fact, many of the most powerful and helpful spirits that I've contacted are angels, and they are literally waiting for you to call on them right now. Let me officially introduce you to my Circle of Solomon. If you don't know, the Circle of Solomon is the most famous and respected magic circle in occult history. It's the revered centerpiece of ritual work in the Hermetic tradition of Kabbalah. Now, the violent serpent coiled around the circle, swallowing its own tail, symbolizes eternity and the unlimited power of the divine. The 5 colors, violet, yellow, red, green, and blue, all represent the elements of spirituality and nature, which are akasha, air, fire, water, and earth. Performing magic on the Circle of Solomon attunes you to the elements and channels their vital energy for your rituals and evocations. The sacred word Adonai is written within each element, honoring and calling the Hebrew God to empower your ritual, invoking the full essence of that God name and what it symbolizes. The violet diamond reads Master, and it refers to you, the magician, who is symbolically the master of the universe and marks where you'll stand when you're inside the circle performing your rituals. Now, as you may know, magic circles are ridiculously expensive. They're usually thousands of dollars. What's worse is that they're often made with the crappiest fabric with paint that chips or wears off quickly. If that's not bad enough, the words and lines are always crooked and lopsided like they were drawn by a 5-year-old. They just look and feel amateur. I'm happy to inform you that my magic circles are very different from all of that. In fact, I strongly believe my magic circles are the best in the world. Professional
tremendous magic circles. They're the best.
Handmade these with permanent ink on the highest quality of fabric. All of the lines, words, and shapes are all geometrically precise, down to the degree. And the best part is, they are incredibly affordable. My circles are gorgeous, long-lasting, and affordable. So if you're like me and you're truly serious about magical ascent, then I urge you to get the best magic circle you can for hermetic evocation. It's going to dramatically improve your self-confidence and long-term occult success. Now, I only have a very limited number of these circles.
But if you order now,
you need to act now, because when I run out, they may be gone
forever.
Click Add to Cart right now and harness the divine power of the Circle of Solomon in your next ritual.
But wait, that's not all. Order right now and get your own very own special magic hermetic / shaman wand, a miter carved out of genuine balsa wood and particle board, your very own black hood and robe, one size fits all. If you just order now, full price, I don't know, $39.99.99, or I don't know, $72. That's too much. I don't know. Okay, my joke's falling apart on me. It's falling apart on me, bros. So there's that fucking guy. All right, but let's talk about what the Lesser Key of Solomon actually says about magic circles. We've done a lot of bullshitting about what it doesn't say about it. Let's talk about what it does say about it. By gods, by Pete's sake. The magic circle. This is the form of the magic circle of King Solomon, the which he made that he might preserve himself therein from the malice of these evil spirits. This magic circle is to be made 9 feet across, and the divine names are to be written around it, beginning at Eyawa and beginning at or ending at Levaha Luna. The book goes on to break down the colors that should be used when constructing your magic circle. The space between the outer circles and inner circles where the serpent is coiled. So I suggest everybody go. You could go to, I don't know if I mentioned this last episode, a resource that I use all the time is sacred. If you just Google sacred texts, you Google sacred texts, and their stated purpose is to scan and archive every sacred text, I guess, in the world or whatever. So you go there if you want to know. They're like, hey, John never talks to me about Buddhism. What's up with that? You go in there, you can find like the Bhagavad Gita, which I actually own a copy, and it's got that great Hindi art in it. It's fucking phenomenal. We're going to talk about the Bhagavad Gita at some point. But anyhow, I can't speak highly enough, or I mean, they don't pay me, so I can't actually want to promote them, but it is a great sacred text is a great resource, and you can read the whole book, the whole 72, the whole Lesser Key of Solomon is on there. So, whatever, you go on there, you look at these pictures of this thing. If you're going to try to build it, I'm sure you can Google search it and find it just as easily. Just want to let you know, full disclosure, everybody, sacred text is awesome. So the colors, the space between the outer and inner circle where the serpent is coiled, with the Hebrew names written along his body, is bright, deep yellow. The square in the center of the circle where the word master is written is filled in all red. All names and letters are in black, and the hexagram on the outer triangles where the letters A, D, O, N, A, I appeared are filled in bright yellow. The centers where the T-shaped crosses are blue or green. The pentagrams outside the circle, the outer triangles where the tetragrammaton is tetragrammaton is written are filled in bright yellow, and the centers with the crosses written therein are red. So you look at this thing, and it's pretty impressive, but you have to also make sure, like, it's odd, right? When you're creating this magic circle, like, our modern Western sensibility is to put the stuff that's on the top where in the north. like if we're looking at a compass dial. However, this thing is oriented to the east. So when they're talking about the snake coil wrapped around, so the snake is wrapped around this thing, like, I want to say, it's hard for me to figure out. I'm not real good at math. So I want to say like 3 times. The snake is coiled around between the outer and the inner circle 3 times. And its head with its tongue sticking out is oriented to the head is oriented to the east, and the tongue is sticking out to the south. So you have to, if you're picturing a magic circle and you're thinking that's the top of it where the magic triangle is going to be, you're wrong. You just got to like take it like a steering wheel and just kind of scooch it 90 degrees. Yeah, 90 degrees clockwise. And you get the whole thing. You'll get the whole thing right at that point. However, the snake, as it's circling around, it actually is an embodiment of the Shaha Muf Orash, whereas it has the 72 letters of this, the name of God is written on the snake going around this coil, and it all ends, and then we go into the inner magic circle where this guy, a lot of his magic circle selling experience is tied into the inner circle, and it has like the easternmost Star of David is Alpha. The other one, the westernmost, is Omega, and the diamond shape in the middle is for the Master, because the Master of Puppets pulls your strings. You know what I'm talking about. So I mentioned the magic triangle already. So what the fuck is that all about? Well, let's go back to the book. The magic triangle. This is the form of the magic triangle into which Solomon did command the evil spirits. It is to be made at 2 feet distance from the magic circle, and it is 3 feet across. That this triangle was to be placed towards what quarter whereunto the spirit belongeth. And the base of the triangle is to be nearest unto the circle, the apex pointing in the direction of the quarter of the spirit. Observe thou also the moon in thy working, as aforesaid. Anaphextion is sometimes written as Anaphention. The colors of this are the triangle is outlined in black, the name of Michael, black on white to the ground. All right, so what it's talking about now is the picture in your mind's eye, a triangle, and there's a circle in the middle of it. So in the circle in the middle of it, in the triangle on the outside of the circle, there's like the 3 kind of blank spaces, the 3 kind of negative spaces built into the design. So what they're saying is on the northmost, I'm trying to explain this the best way that I can. The northmost negative space is M-I, ma. The point, the eastern point of the magic triangle, where the negative space is Ka. And then the southern point of the negative space is L. So within the spirit you have Michael. It's for the Archangel Michael. Because within this triangle, when you're summoning these entities, you're summoning them into the triangle. So Michael being written around the perimeter in this space is like the first line of defense. So it's going to try to like come out of the triangle after you or whatever. And those 3 syllables of St. Michael's name, the Archangel Michael's name, is the first thing that's keeping it in check. And then on the outside perimeter of the triangle itself, it doesn't say it right here, but I have it. On the northern part of the triangle, it says Anaphextion. On the eastern, the corner of the triangle, the side of the triangle that's facing the circle, is Primumeton, and then on the southern side is the Tetragrammaton, which is, like I said before, it's the 4 or 5 letter name for God instead of saying Elohim, which Elohim is really weird for me anyways, because it's like it's masculine and feminine, and it's singular and plural. So it's like all of us gods, all of us guys and girl gods. It's very strange. But so in order to not say Elohim or Jehovah or whatever, these guys just walk around and say the Tetragrammaton or Shemha Maf Orash. So I mean that's a mouthful as far as I'm concerned. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think you know what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, dog. Okay, so we're going to just kind of drill through some of this stuff so we can get to the juice. There are other precautions to be had. The hexagram of Solomon is a sigil or a doodle, I would say, you make to wear. You show it to the demons when they appear, and this compels them to take human shape and be obedient. You can see the guy who wrote this, the magic user that wrote this Book of Solomon. I don't think it's Solomon. He actually quotes and talks about Solomon, so it's safe to say. Also, it wasn't done until like the 15th century. So okay, but they're very concerned with the demons not showing up looking fucked up. Like, we're going to get into it later where they're like, you can't take a form that's, like, torturous and fucked up. Like, you got to appear to us in front of, like, as a normal human being. So they're very concerned about this. And a lot of this other precaution stuff is actually based around that. So, this hexagram of Solomon compels them to take a human shape and be obedient. The pentagram of Solomon is the tetragrammaton in a pentagram, and it's worn on your chest, and it will protect you and preserve thee from danger, and to help you command the spirits. There's a magic ring, but it's not like a ring you put on your finger. It's actually like a doodle or a diagram of a ring, and it will help protect you from poisons and sulfur. So the idea is you hold it by your face when these demons are like acting out. Because you have to understand they're trying to take a nap or something. Like, these demons are just trying to like shoot some craps, or they're playing spades, and they're just like, man, what a fucking life this shit is. And you call them down into this little tiny 3 feet fucking like triangle, and you're like, hey, you got to turn me invisible, or hey, you got to tell me what my dog's saying, or hey, help me find my car keys. So they act out, and so like it builds in some backup plans for you. So it's like when this thing is acting out and is going nuts, the system gives you like a magic ring to protect you from poisons and sulfur. It also gives you a way to kind of punish these demons, and that's called the Vessel of Brass. And this is for you to bind the demon. In order for you to bind them, though, you need the secret seal of Solomon. So you have a container of brass. And like the story of Solomon is like he used like jinns to like build the temple. And he had a ring that like controlled them through. And you can read about this in The Brass City, which was just released by Stigmata Studios. You go to stigmatastudios.com and pick up a book. It's cheap. It's super cheap. It's about a war bot that goes it takes the offensive in the Middle East. It assaults the Brass City, where these group of terrorists are hiding, and one of the terrorists has the Ring of Solomon that allows him to control genies. So that adds some drama to the whole thing. But yeah, so that's out now. That's available. You can check it out on stigmatastudios.com. So in order to bind the demon, you need the Secret Seal of Solomon. So let's talk about the Secret Seal of Solomon for a second. And I was wondering if I could say it a couple times real fast, 6 times real fast for the Secret Seal of Solomon. I'm not going to bore you with the results, but the answer is no. This is the form of the Secret Seal of Solomon, wherewith he did bind and seal up aforesaid spirits with their legions in the vessel of brass. This seal is to be made by the one that is clean, both inwardly and outwardly, and hath not defiled himself by any woman in the space of a month. These guys are really these medieval wizards. These medieval wizards are real twisted up about menstruation. Like, when you read enough of this stuff, you're just like, what? What the fuck is going on? All right, I'm going back to it. I'm sorry. I'm already wildly out of my time goals. So, this seal is to be made by one that is clean, both inwardly and outwardly, and hath not defiled himself by any woman in the space of a month, but hath, in prayer and fasting, desired of God to forgive him of all of his sins. It is to be made on the days of Mars or Saturn, which is Tuesday or Saturday, at night at 11 o'clock, and written upon virgin parchment with the blood of a black cock. I forgot. This is the reason I said I was going to read this one. It's because I just wanted to say that. And never... Okay. It is to be made on the day of Mars or Saturn, at night at 12 o'clock, and written upon virgin parchment, with the blood of a black clock that never trode hen. Note that on this night the moon must be increasing in light, and in the zodiacal sign of Virgo. And when the seal is so made, thou shalt perfume it with alum, raisins dried in the sun, dates, cedar, and legume aloes. Also by this seal King Solomon did command all the aforesaid spirits in the vessel of brass, and did seal it up with the same seal. By it gained the love of all manner of person, and overcame in battle, for neither weapons, nor fire, nor water can hurt him. And this privy seal was made to cover the vessel at the top withal. All right, so there we have that, with bloods of black cocks and all this stuff. The last thing we actually got to get through it's another set of other magical requisites. So let's get through these real quick. Maybe after this. Maybe we'll do this first, and then we'll get into these other magical requisites. Other magical requisites. The other magical requisites are a scepter, a sword, a mitre, a cap, a long white robe of linen, and other garments for the purpose. Also a girdle of lion skin 3 inches broad, with all the names written about it, which he round the outmost part of the magic circle. Also perfumes, and a chafing dish of charcoal kindled to put the fumes on, to smoke or perfume the place appointed for action. Also anointing oil to anoint thy temples and thy eyes with, and the fair water to wash thyself in. And in doing so, thou shalt say, as David said, Thou shalt purge me with hyssop, O Lord, and I shall be clean. Thou shalt wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. And at thy putting on of thy garments, thou shalt say, the adoration of indulging of the vestments. By the figurative mystery of these holy ventures, or this holy vestment, I will clothe me in the armor of salvation, in the strength of the Most High, Anchor, Amacor, Amidies, Theodians, Anator. And my desired end may be effecting through the strength, O Adonai, whom the praise and the glory will forever and belong. Amen. After thou hast done so, make prayers unto God according to thy work, as Solomon hath commanded. That was the adoration of the bath.
Vienna, 1683. Today is September 11th, 1683. The mighty army of the Ottoman Empire, led by the savage and radical terror troops of the Dar al-Harb, surround the walled city of Vienna and begin a siege to break the golden apple of Europe and kill, enslave, or convert all of its inhabitants. The valiant citizens stand against the tyrannical army with the steadfast leadership of Count Ernst Rudiger von Stromberg, the help of the ever-living rebel Cyrus the Dead Guy, and the host of the faraway King Jan Sobieski III and his army of flying hussars. The Vienna 1683 comic is available right now from Stigmata Studios at stigmatastudios.com and on indieplanet.us. The Non-Standard Squad, 1944. World War II. 3 weird American soldiers are on a search and rescue mission into the oldest and darkest regions of Europe. A cursed, ever-living warrior, Cyrus the Dead Guy. An experimental warbot, Sergeant Lane McCord. An all-red axe, mysterious rogue with a demon-possessed arm, come face-to-face with an army of magically corrupted machine-obsessed elves, a magic hammer-wielding Norse Ubermensch, and a Nazi wizard who is a member of the ancient Dark Order of the Shining Hexagon. The Non-Standard Squad 1944 comic is available right now from Stigmata Studios at stigmatastudios.com and on indieplanet.us.
All right, everybody, please remember to support the show, rate and review on iTunes, please. This is like throwing a fucking email into the black hole with you motherfuckers. Please rate and review on iTunes. StigmataStudios.com. All my social media links are up in the upper left-hand corner. Please, you motherfuckers, please reach out to me. Please. Buy some comic books while you're there. That's the best way to support the show. Not like apparently anybody fucking cares. But that's the best way to do it. I've been John Towers, and this has been the Abercast episode 80, I think. We're going to stretch this along, and we're going to do the last, I guess, part of this in part 3. I had no idea this was going to be so dense. I'm so sorry, but you're stuck with me for another hour if you're curious about how to summon demons to become invisible, or summon demons to learn the language of birds, or to summon demons for love spells. I already told you what the best love spell was for you ladies. Perfect your technique. You know what I'm saying. A little lip gloss. Make sure you're hydrated. That's what I'm saying. Alright, so that's what I'm saying. You guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to me babbling passionately about the Lesser Key of Solomon, summoning demons, demonology, the triangle of manifestation, magic circles, and the like. I appreciate it all. I appreciate everyone clicking in to listen to this, and I appreciate your time. So thank you very much. Record something, draw something, write something, research something. See, I'm switching it up. I'm flipping it around, smacking it up, flipping it, rubbing it down. Oh no. This is Soda Jerk, and the name of the song is Drinking in the Key of C.
I'm not drinking here for fun. I don't have the guts to hold a gun. Oh, I'm worried now, and I might go off with anyone. But until then, I'm drinking to the sick things I've done. Last night I tried to slit my wrist with an electric razor, now it's hard to kiss. And I'm drinking here to memories, and it hurts when I reminisce, 'cause it's you that I miss. And I hate those moments of clarity, 'cause it's lonesome, so lonesome when you're drinking in the key of C. I can't get you off my mind. Well, drinking sure makes everyone look pretty. Oh, I'm pretty
sick of life.
Sick of life. And I hate those moments of clarity, 'cause it's lonesome, yeah, lonesome when you're drinking in the key of C. It's lonesome, so lonesome when you're drinking in the key of C.
Hear me, I casteth the spell against hiccups. I am the storm and the light. I am the light bringer and the thunderer. And I protect this mortal coil against hiccups. See you next episode.
Stigmata Studios presents The Test of the Scorpion. In this comic book, while the Jin Jihad is raging on one side of the city, the terrorist called the Scorpion sets a secondary attack in motion as he obtains a small tactical nuclear bomb. A mysterious, ever-living warrior called Cyrus the Dead Guy steps forward to test the faith of the Scorpion and his lunatic followers. This is an action-adventure story. It's a bit of swashbuckler that wraps up the Jihad stories. Available on Indie Planet. Get more info on the Scorpion Strikes, the Jin Jihad, the Test of the Scorpion, and other titles at stigmatastudios.com.